Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Confidential Killings. Thank you, Stripe here, for the code. Well, we went to Astro Center, and it's pretty bad. Now we're interviewing Mr. K. Kenneth. Let's do it. It's Kenneth for you, detective. I've been wanting to talk to you for some time. I was waiting for the right moment. I know you've been very busy. All these deaths, deplorable. One can only wonder what kind of empire stands behind it all. Mr. Cleveland, I know you've been involved in everything that's happening. Oh, that one. Well, there's been a letter with your... No clues are collected yet. I literally... Oh, evidence locker. Okay, that's why. New York Police Department, Roman Lipko. It's this one again. I wonder. Right, Lipko Incident Intervention, Army, Korean War. Disco Double Homicide. Studio 96, Los Angeles, May 19th. Grayson Davis, single stab wounds chest. Amanda Adams, arrested at scene. Dennis Miller, journalist deceased. Acute poisoning following consumption of contaminated beverage. Perpetrators Zachary Pierce, conspirator Mike Alvarez. Summary: Amanda Adams fatally stabbed Grayson Davis while under the influence of the narcotic known as gaze. The weapon was recovered lodged in the victim's chest. Dennis Miller was later found deceased from poisoning, determined to be the result of a contaminated drink stirred by Zachary Pierce under direction of Mike Alvarez. Motivations behind Miller's murder remains unknown. Pending trial. A stamped letter K encircled in the letter C that we found on Cleveland. With your... There's a letter with your stamp connected to a lot of those deaths. Oh, my little letters? What can I tell you? I'm a bit of a graphomaniac, so I keep correspondence with a lot of different people. It's not a crime, is it? Might be if your little letters result in the murder of those you pointed them to. That would never hold up in court, and you know that full well. But I'm here as a friend to help you solve this mystery. Have you figured out who is behind all this? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a small crook named Roman. You mean Robin Lipko? Who is he? What does he have to do with all this? Mr. Lipko was born in New York to an honest, poor family of immigrants, but he wasn't cut from the same cloth as his parents. 22, an argument with this boy from another gang over a failed smuggling deal, and can you guess what happens? Murder. Indeed, stuck a knife deep inside him. Kid didn't seem to appreciate his new condition and died on the spot. Roman was supposed to be sent to prison, but he cut a deal with the police. Do you know the rest of the story? He enrolled in the army to fight in the Korean War. Here it says that he died in 1952? Exactly, that's why you're a top detective, isn't it? As you may have noticed, the funeral was held with a closed casket. Grenade wounds, what a terrible thing. Leave you unrecognizable. So was he really dead? Or did he just become someone else? A war hero, perhaps? From the Jaws of Defeat, the movie based on autobiography of war hero. Oh boy. Jeffrey Stanowitz and author Dominic Fraser, the veteran who conquered America's heart with his tales of bravery. Oh boy. Are you saying that Dominic Fraser stole Roman, or that Roman Lipko, I have it the wrong way around, Roman Lipko stole Dominic Fraser's identity? No, detective, you said that. I would never accuse such an esteemed citizen of being a fraud, a criminal, and a spy. I would never say he made himself a new life using a war hero's name, and use his war veteran status as a springboard to achieve fame, success, and money, and over time, power. No one ever knows that he isn't the hero he claimed to be. I mean, Fraser had an immaculate reputation. His bestseller book about his efforts in the war became a successful movie. It's easier to destroy the past when you're rich and famous, especially if you're the master of the hot new drug in town. Must be gays. Bingo! Have you noticed how this drug is now everywhere? Let me get back to the late 60s when Dominic was my partner, working as a spy for the government. Our goal was to stop marijuana from coming from Mexico. At least that's what we said we were doing. In reality, Dominic had found a more profitable trade. And that trade must have been importing gays. Right again, he was stopping one drug while smuggling another. We caught one of his new operation asked to get in. By then, I'd already uncovered his past, despite his efforts to erase them erase it from every record. Working as a spy long enough, he learned the distress polish stories. He managed to get in on the operation. Dominic didn't take kindly to my involvement. He sent someone to deal with me and had me left in the desert to die. Convinced the problem had solved itself. It hadn't. Me and knows this girl in the eye, that's their parting gift. Since then, I've made it my purpose to correct what was done to me. Today may simply be the conclusion of arrangement he began himself. Wait, what happens today? Now, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but maybe you should rush to Fraser's fancy mansion. I heard someone there received a rather disconcerting letter just this morning. Okay. Kenneth Cleveland threw his stamp on the letters. Ugh. I have something in my throat. Revealed that Dominic Fraser is in fact Roman Lipko, a former hero who built his empire through the trade of gays. After Kenneth attempted to force his way into the operation, Roman Lipko responded by ordering his murder in the desert. Kenneth survived and vowed to systematically destroy the empire Roman had built. He warned of an imminent incident at the Fraser mansion, urging immediate police intervention. Wait. No, that's right. Wait, two are wrong. That's the Fraser mansion. Former spy? No, it's Empire. Should be. Oh no, through the smuggling. Trade? Intervention. Smuggling. Oh, I guess they just both work. Gaze. Respondent. Or operation. His murder. In the desert. Destroy the empire Dominic built. I mean, it both worked. Like, it should say Roman because it's both, but I feel like that's a little. Ooh. All right. Illinois, April 12th, 1979. Wheelchair on the ground. Did it fall, or was it pushed? Two eyes stare at the observer, emitting rays of light. In the middle, a nighttime photo of an ancient pyramid. Does it involve... Heck, that breeze is cold. Woman lies on the ground, her face and mask appall her. She's not breathing, she is dead. Mrs. Lemon, now that you are free from those so-called sleeping pills, you are finally ready for the truth, to understand how you were deceived, manipulated, blinded by a man who was never who he claimed to be. I know you have suspected this for a long time, but your mind was deliberately clouded by the drugs your husband gave you. I too was betrayed by him, tricked and left for dead, and I've never forgiven him. Read the documents. Now is the time to act. Another one of those letters stamped with a K. Over here. Oh. Dear Mr. and Mr. Fletcher. Mr. and Mrs. Fletcher, I'm giving you a day off. Go enjoy yourselves. Shirley and I will take care of the preparations for tonight's meeting. The only thing I ask is that you take the 2 bottles of champagne from Dominic's personal reserve from the cellar and leave them on the table. These are mature bottles, so I want to personally open them in advance and decant them briefly, as is necessary for wines of this quality. Bottles are required for the toast all attendees make at the start of the meeting. I'm grateful for all the help you have given me over the years. Enclosed with the letters of check as a token of my appreciation. Letter is here, but there's no sign of the check. Why did she do it? Why? Now that she was finally starting to live again. Alright. To American Nurse Society to forward to Shirley Flores. Shirley, I'm happy to hear that Mrs. Clarice Lemon has been much more active and responsive in the last weeks. And what Mr. Fraser told me, and you should have, not him, is disconcerting. Is it true that she tried to stand from the wheelchair and walk, and you supported her in this inane intention? This is unacceptable. You're not a doctor. You just don't understand Mrs. Lemon's condition. The closeness to her must have clouded your judgment. Mrs. Lemon is a weak, mentally frail woman. She needs her sedatives and her sleeping pills. Must I remind you that you respond to Mr. Fraser first, and to me, the treating doctor, second? You think you're seeing improvement, but instead you're looking at a mad woman who was inept even before her son's death, which devastated her already lacking cognitive ability. So, you're Shirley Flores. Shirley Flores. This is Clarice. Alright. Dear Shirley, isn't it funny how when you're a young, attractive actress, you're always surrounded by friends but when you get old and bound to a wheelchair, no one is around? That's the reason I value your friendship so much. You never looked at me as a patient, but as a friend for all these years. And only your presence made me survive the loss of Bradley. It feels so painful now. When Dominic sends you away for days, it never seemed to end, just to deprive me of your company. I think he's starting to suspect that's why I have to do everything in secret. But I've got to risk it today because I have to tell you the great news. Today I walked. Yes, all alone. I did half of the corridor on my own. That Kenneth who has been writing, I don't know his motives, but he was right. I thought I was invalid for such a long time. I was feeble-minded, but as I heard Dominic just drive me to the doctor when he didn't think I could hear him. No, as Kenneth said, it was the medicines, all those pills, the injections. Since we agreed to stop with those, I feel like a new person. As if I've just awakened from a deep slumber, as if I'm finally alive again. Need be careful, Shirley. I'm acting dumb all the time when Dominic is around. I feel like an actress again. But I think he notices that something is different. Clarice. Classic Hollywood portraits from the 50s. Closet is full of clothes. Bottom there's a box with various documents. Mr. Fraser, our problematic person has been dealt with. Something is bound to happen on those risky roads to the border. An accident that will silence our problem forever. He tried to convince the guards that you blackmailed him to create the accident. But they were my men, and they paid no attention. They are well remunerated not to ask loyal questions, and they're loyal. I'll be collaborating with Hayes on creating a story for the news. This is how they got Pedro to do their bidding, then got rid of him. Riley paid the price for his disobedience. Oh, goodness. Clarice, you and I have something in common. We have both been betrayed by your husband. Just as he tried to murder me so that I wouldn't report his dirty business to my superiors, He had your son killed, destroying the most important part of your life. For him, Bradley was never his son, just an instrument. He married you as a conduit to penetrate Hollywood from the inside. Then Bradley took your place as a link to the rising stars in show business. He used a drug he had discovered in Mexico while working as a spy to subjugate and manipulate people, to blackmail, obtain money, loyalty, and favors. Pedro Diaz, the man who killed your son, was also a tool in Dominic's hands. Pedro was a young student he had saved from torture during the conflicts in Mexico in the 60s, who then was mercilessly exploited. It was Pedro himself who, under Dominic's orders, tried to kill me in '69 with the promise of a new life in the U.S. Your son Bradley was beginning to slip out of Dominic's control. He wasn't as strong as Dominic wanted him to be, but too much like you, his mother. Too human. He had started dealing gays himself, hoping to make friends among the famous people Dominic had introduced him to. There are no friends among the elite, only competitors, rivals. When Dominic learned of Bradley's desperate attempts at rebellion, which was really just a cry for recognition from a father who had never considered him worthy, he saw it as betrayal. That's who Dominic is, a person who has always exploited everyone. You meet Bradley Pedro, everyone to build his empire, his pyramid of power with him at the top, cinema to build a myth about his false heroism in war, the press to celebrate his acts of generosity, his political donations disguised as philanthropy, his Ad Astra centers for manipulating the minds of VIPs. Tried to destroy his empire from within using his own tricks, but I only managed to get rid of a few small pawns. Even my attempt to make contacts in the press failed. The only one who can get close to me is you, Clarice. Let's avenge Bradley. Old wedding photo says on the back says 1956. Memorabilia box, a great variety of little elements with sentimental value to the owner. Book on plants and herbs. There's a bookmark that points to a specific page. Oh god. Bella Ward herbs and their properties. Strophanthus gratus is a plant belonging to that family. Native to tropical Africa, its fragrant flowers have a striking appearance, a white corolla topped by purple with pink coronal lobes. In the United States, this plant is hard to obtain for horticulturists. It has an extremely hazardous substance stance, so it cannot be easily obtained or cultivated. Pharmaceutical companies that use it are subject to strict observation by authorities. This is because of the following cardiac glycosides that cause toxicity: alabane or G-strophanthine, cimarron, and strophoside. The plant's medical properties have been known for centuries, and traditional medicine was used to treat heart failure due to the presence of cardiac glycosides such as strophoside. At the same time, in justifying its status as a toxic substance, the plant was historically used in the creation of poisoned arrows in both warfare and hunting. The seeds were extremely toxic and were processed into poisonous paste for the purpose of poisoning, which was then applied to arrowheads. These methods of poisoning could cause a quick death, with the heart stopping within minutes. Toxic compounds such as that and albane extracted from the seeds are also soluble in organic solvents, alcohols, and to an extreme limited extent in water. Historically, these glycosides were used as cardiotonic agents via injection. There have been reported cases of poisoning when subjects drink the compounds in liquid solution. Is there anything? Yes, there's still more. Elegant box for giving medicines. Small box of sleeping pills is unopened. Mrs. Lemon, I'm forced to increase your sleeping pill dosage in light of your recent mood swings, as reported to me by Mr. Fisher. Take 2 pills a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, to help calm your nerves. Make sure Shirley Flores gives you your weekly injection. I hid this check in the medicine box, so you'll only find it when everything is over. I know you wouldn't have accepted it otherwise. It's my small way of saying thank you for your commitment and friendship over the years. Thank you for everything. Goodbye. Great. Glorious. Do I have... No. Alright, well that is that room. Oh Christ. Egyptian scene made disturbing by the large eye watching from behind the pyramid. It's titled The Pyramid of Power. Elderly man, conservatively dressed, lies on his back. His motionless body is still twisted in a final seizure of pain. Man died on the ground, bent over on his stomach. He is dressed casually, wearing bell-bottoms and a plaid shirt. Man is holding his head alive but breathing heavily, unresponsive. Dear Dominic, Dominic, or should I say Roman, you thought you were rid of me, but I came back from the grave to take my revenge. Like the past you worked so hard to bury, I've come back to haunt you. My only regret is not being able to see your face when you realize that you've lost everything coming from the place you least expected. Never get rid of our past. Enjoy your last moments. Dear Mr. Fraser, the results of the test attached show that the condition of your heart has not improved. The risk of a heart attack is currently high. The stress you have been under in recent months combined with your physical state has worsened the situation. We recommend you continue your diet and, above all, avoid alcohol. In addition, as far as possible for a man in your position, try to avoid situations that may upset you. Once again, I advise against the use of strophathine, which, although faster-acting, can be dangerous and is therefore rarely used today. With regard to your wife, I've sent a letter of reprimand to Nurse Shirley Flores for indulging her obsessions. For now, however, I will allow Mrs. Lemon the greater freedom she seems to be enjoying, provided she continues to take her medication. Who could she hurt anyway? Dominic Fraser sheet. Okay. Dominic. Just doing it now. Fraser. Oh, that closed it out. As has become obvious over the past months, someone is sabotaging our organization in an attempt to destroy it. The chains of incidents and homicides influenced by external presence are a clear indication of that. All colleagues from the Secret Service have been contacted and a covert investigation is ongoing. To rebuild our reputation, we have to work together, each of us tackling his own field. The philanthropic efforts of the Bradley Fraser Foundation will have to appear even more spectacular. So support from Mr. Hayes to convince the people it's essential. Objective: rebuild a reputation, find the culprit behind the attacks on the organization, strengthen philanthropic efforts of the Bradley Fraser Foundation, and publicize them through Hayes' publications. Jacob Byrne. Oh. What's that? Okay. Jacob Byrne is you. Yeah. No. He is not you. Oh no. It didn't look like him. You're Jacob Byrne. Glasses guy. No, you're not. Oh no. Oh, you are! Right, you are. I recognize you. Let me click on the left side. Anyway, Jacob Byrne's sheet talking about it's essential to expedite the production of gaze. We must find a way to synthesize it in a lab now that routes from Mexico are blocked. The ultimate objective is for gaze to become a regularly sold medicine like Clarice Lemon's sleeping pills, our first successful test. On the hand, the potential of gaze as a pharmacological drug is enormous. Agreements have already been made with pharmaceutical companies for its production and sale. On the other hand, subjects who consume unregulated gaze have shown devastating effects on their psyches. I need to just take my hand off the mouse. As our Ad Astra Center studies indicate. Proposal. More immediate concerns spread the drug among the general population in order to cause episodes of psychosis in poor neighborhoods. This will lead to increased demand for law enforcement within cities, which will distract from the public from the border issue. Badman will take care of the logistics. Hayes will be keen in convincing the public of the new emergency. Expedite the commercial production of gaze. Work in tandem with pharmaceutical companies. Ad campaign to sell the new drug to the public. Yeah, these guys are like not where I expected them to be. Old expensive champagne bottle. A faint chemical note is present. Bottle of water. Augustus Whitney. I would have thought that they'd be like next to each other. It's this guy with get these glasses, Augustus Whitney? No. Okay, so that's Augustus Whitney back there. This guy must be... Or this guy is... admin? Or wait. Is there like a... No. This is all out here. I haven't... Like, there might be somewhere in one of these. Hallie Badman Street, talking points. Click that and then take my mouse. Hand off the mouse. Due to recent events concerning Ad Astra centers, it's become increasingly difficult to hide the passage of substance from Mexico. Drugs cannot pass through. They get stopped at the border, and no courier has been spared from arrest there. Your suspension due to investigation by Internal Affairs has made it harder to control what is going on inside the force. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously. Most of our contacts inside are afraid of sinking with the ship and are keeping a low profile. Your main objective, after contacting the Justice Department, is given his confirmation that the investigation can be buried, is to reduce law enforcement presence on the border. For this, you will have Whitney support through new budget redistribution policies. Move the current patrols to Mexico's internal problems. Work with the Drug Enforcement Agency to reclassify gays and focus attention toward traffics. Is Hadley Bradman? Just plain guess the person. It is, okay. You're by your thing. Man's face shows how his last moments were marked by intense pain. He's holding a stomach in hand. He's wearing an expensive pinstripe jacket. So they're all just poison, right? Underarm bent over his stomach. He's dressed casually, wearing bell bottom and plaid shirt. Long man conservatively dressed, lights on his back. It's the pyramid. Man appears to have struggled on the ground, torn apart by spasms before dying. He's wearing a bottom shirt and colorful jacket. And over is dead. He's wearing a doctor's coat. Okay, yeah. I have 50 more to investigate. Preston Cox's sheet. That's... I bet this guy. I bet that's Preston Cox, right? He's like... I'm from the country. Preston Cox, yeah. As representative of younger voters, the goal is to propose policies toward a more open use of drugs. The hippie movement is dead, but we can still use as ideological leverage on younger generations. Not only would the expansion of drug use mean a boost in business, but would also make public consciences easier to manipulate, as experiments in our centers have shown. Create an ideological atmosphere in which open drug use is considered acceptable. Hayes can help. Laws to make recreational drug use legal. Contact Horton for details. Reduce arrest for possession. Ask Batman. Gideon Horton. It's gonna be the suit guy, right? Proposal to expand laws on the private cultivation of plants. Start with medicinal plants such as Strophanthus, which, despite being dangerous due to their toxicity, could be cultivated individually by a person who meets the prerequisites, example, due to heart problems. The fact that permits have been obtained to plant Strophanthus by Dominic Fraser demonstrates the validity of this approach. Once these laws protecting vulnerable people can become reality, expand them so that gays can also be cultivated on U.S. soil. To do this, it would be necessary to reclassify the plant as low hazard with the DEA. Expand laws on private cultivation of plants to make way for gays on U.S. soil. Get gays to be reclassified as a lower threat. Work with cops. Gideon Horton. Okay, so he's like... Super. You. Right? Maybe. Gideon Horton. No, you're Gideon Horton. What am I Oh, Luke Hayes. That's what I'm missing. At Astra Center's covers have been blown. Due to recent events, they have been lost prestige and need a new PR spin. Work with advertising firms to create a new plan of action. We need to push the domestic crime crisis narrative. Badman will provide statistics to be published in newspapers, magazines to scare the public and sway their opinion. This will also convince the police to remove... Wait, this is the article guy. Yeah. This will also convince the police to remove their force from the border and that patrols in city areas. It's essential to start a campaign to convince the public of the benefits of psychiatric drugs to then establish gays and medicinal in the future. We should use actors, singers, hosts, models, and athletes from our Ad Astra Centers as testimonials for it. Studies have shown that the public will believe what they hear from famous people more than they are told by professionals in their fields. Yeah. Rebuild Ad Astra's prestige, create a media campaign about rampant crime in the city, use star power to convince people of the benefit of the new drugs that we will make available. Okay, so... Luke Hayes. That's all of those people. But there's still... here. How many? 2. Lightweight metal watering can sitting near the plants. A mass of white and pink flowers grow... lines the rows of the greenhouse. Among one side, other crops grown in scattered clusters. Oh no. I'm missing a clue. Alright. Time to slowly go through everything again. I'm still aiming quickly. Oh, 2 or 3. There it is. Information. Alright. Start piecing together. Pyramid of Power. So this is... I already forgot. Something Badman. Right? Badman. Hadley. Badman. Media was Luke Hayes. Law. Medicine is... New politics would be Preston Combs. Right. Yeah. Old was Gideon Horton. Oh, now it's Law. Law is Gideon Horton. It's Horton. Horton. You are at the top. Dominic Fraser. Old politics is... goes this way. Or medicine, Jacob Byrne. Justice. Okay, so that's all that. Orchestrated a mass poisoning. By placing a toxic plant into the champagne used for the toast at the meeting. All attendees except Dominic Fraser were killed. He was drink only water due to his heart condition. Killer wanted to avenge the death of Bradley Fraser, who had been killed by Pedro Diaz on the orders. Dominic Fraser? Okay, that's one I'm not sure about. Killer learned this motive through the letters sent by Shirley Torres. No? By Clarice Sloan? Maybe? Okay, I'm off in at least 3. That was Clarice, right? This was Kenneth. No. Sent by Kenneth. There we go. Kenneth Cleveland. One clue is wrong. Mass poisoning, champagne used for the toast of the meeting. Okay, it's this one. They learned of this information through the letters. We did it! Got a little bit easier as I went through. The empire built on lies finally collapsed when Clarice learned the truth. Used as a test subject for years was not what broke her, it was discovering that Dominic had killed their son. That was the moment revenge became certainty. Dominic was spared not out of mercy, but to watch his life burn. Aftermath. Katie Keller suffered a nervous breakdown and retired from the stage. A year later, she wrote a memoir about her days in the theater, which earned her a lot of money in royalties. The book was adapted for the cinema, but Keller refused to appear in it. She married the painter Carl Carlson. Martha Hart never recovered from the death of her husband Troy. A few months later, she moved to Europe, where she had a brief career as a model, then as a dance instructor. She never remarried. Penelope Marshall divorced her husband Henry, fed up with his alcoholism. She enjoyed great success in 1984 thanks to the TV series LA Angel and had a decent television career. After his divorce from Penelope, Henry Marshall relapsed in alcoholism. After years of rehab, he finally managed to get back on his feet. Penelope and Henry met again on the set of LA Angel, where Henry played an alcoholic killer. They were married the following year. Henry now appears in beer commercials. After being investigated for his connections to the Fraser family, Jeffrey Stanowitz surprisingly managed to come out clean, but all the trials and tribulations had a profound impact on him. He retired to private life with his wife Nadine, has not appeared in the newspapers since. When asked about his retirement, his last statement for the press was, "I'm too rich for this shit." Having been found instrumental in several murders, Kenneth Cleveland was sent to a maximum security prison while awaiting trial. During his stay in solitary confinement, he was found dead, an apparent suicide. The detective who had led the investigation into the Fraser case tried to launch an inquiry into the matter, but all doors were closed to him. After inheriting all the money from her uncle Preston Cox, who died of poisoning, Evelyn Cox retired to the family farm. Here she lived happy with her mother and brother, happy to see the family finally reunited. Frank Gaines tried to release his first album under the stage name Fab Frank. It was a total flop. After a career marred by failures, he gave up music and accepted a job at Cox Farm at the invitation of his former colleague Evelyn Cox. They married 2 years later. After the events of his villa, Dominic Fraser's heart couldn't take it. Fraser died of a heart attack while being transported by ambulance to the hospital. The doctors could do nothing. He left no heirs. After the incident in April 1979, the Astra Centers were purchased by an unknown individual and closed. Apparently, they will reopen soon with a new name and a major marketing campaign. Yay, case closed! We did it! There is our credits. So, that was Confidential Killings. I do wish that there was a, like, maybe a hint thing, be like, hey, you know, point out what's wrong, or like remove the hints that I have wrong so I can try those again or something. Oh, that's one thing I think would be nice. Yeah. Otherwise, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video and the series, short little series for y'all, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also consider checking out the description below, various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, get notifications there too. Also consider maybe supporting the channel. Support helps there, you know, it helps keep on doing this. So you can find links for that in the description too. PayPal, you can become a channel member. Yeah. There's super thanks and all that, but yeah, thank you. Thank you again so much for watching Confidential Killings. Until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!